Hey, everybody, welcome to Pink Shade. It's Thursday. It's Pop and Bravo Thursday. You guys, as promised, I'm here with my friend, Heather McDonald. Hey, Heather.
Hi, girl. I'm glad we're
Hey.
finally doing this. You're so patient with me. We've rescheduled a few times, but I'm ready to get into it with you.
Listen, you're a lady about town. You're a busy business lady. So we have to understand your busy schedule. And I have to tell you guys, you should have seen before we popped on here. It's quite a team. It's quite a team getting Heather together. It's really just her son and her husband, but it's like, wow. They're like making sure her headphones look good. And I was like, who's gonna come in here and do that for me? That was nice.
Oh
That
my
was
God.
nice.
I'd love for people to think that,
Yeah.
but okay.
The
Mhm.
huge team that you have.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, yeah. It's like the Kardashians. They just come in and fluff you up
Right. Just
and
my
then
glam
leave.
squad. Yeah.
Luckily, you are one of those people that really know how to do your own makeup, and it's just like incredible to
I
me.
do think about like recently I saw something since we're talking about Bravo stuff, like I don't know if it was on the show or somebody said it, how much Shannon Bedore spends a month.
Mhm.
And, when I first met her, she was like I met her at the SC game,
Yeah.
and I was, like, looking for tickets to the SC UCLA game, and I posted something like, "Who can sell me tickets?" And Tara, who I was, very friendly with at the time, said, "We're going with the new housewife, and she has 2 tickets for you guys." So we went. And at that time, she was like it was a secret that she had been chosen, and they just started to film. And she's like, "I don't know how to do eyelashes." And it was kind of funny, David's like, she had to go down the street and get these eyelashes done, and like she, had these beautiful homes, but she wasn't, like, into all that stuff at all.
Mhm,
Like,
mhm.
and so I think, though, once you get on a show and you have the glam, it's almost like you could almost, like, lose confidence that you can do your own makeup. I don't know, but I can't imagine if I was spending, like, glam to come every time I recorded my show for YouTube or went to an event,
Yeah.
I probably wouldn't be living in this house, that's for sure. Like, it is expensive. I mean, these people are quality people, so you're not gonna get out the door for makeup and a blowout and stuff ever for under, like, 350 or more like $500. So
It's
if you figure
crazy.
you do that several times a week for filming or for just because you're going to things or you just wanna look cute, it can really add up.
We know that reminds me of last night on, The Valley on Tuesday night. Brittany went over to do a t-shirt shoot for Kristen's
Yeah.
t-shirts. It's like, where are these t-shirts sold? We've been hearing about them for like 8 years, and they're all cute, but, like, where do you buy them? Just online?
Yeah, I remember years ago, before I was that into the show, I was watching it, and remember when Kristen dated James?
Yes,
And
of
so
course.
I wasn't that familiar with the show, and so I tweeted some stupid joke about how could she name her shirt whatever, it's something James.
James May, M-A-E.
Yeah, it's
Mhm.
James May, and I'm like, "Really?" And then and she'd already been on my show once and stuff, and I just was, like, joking, and I remember she wrote, like, something really kinda mean back, and then I realized, oh, it has nothing to do whoever James May is, it has something to do with something else. But she kinda was the first one to do cute cute t-shirt stuff that isn't just, your podcast merch. Like,
Yeah.
it's pretty stylish and cute. So and I think she was the one that actually did all the Valley stuff that they're,
Mhm.
like, wearing,
Yeah.
and, but no, I saw
They
that,
say Valley
and I did
Crew
think
and
they
yeah.
looked cute. Yeah, they did
Mhm.
look cute. Yeah.
Yeah. So Brittany goes over there and gets her makeup done and everything and was like, "Now I look good to go see Jax. I can show him I still got it." I don't care. I don't think he cares if Brittany's got it or not. I don't think if she's 400 pounds or 98 pounds, I don't think he cares. He just doesn't want her to leave. He just wants her to stay, even though he doesn't really actually like her, you know?
I don't think I've always felt that he never really I think he always wanted to love her, and I think he always knew that she was, like, a quality person and he was a shit person.
Mhm.
And so, really what happened was, even after the Faith cheating thing, it was really his dad dying. Because I remember he, like, said this on my show or he said it other places, that I don't even know how together they were when the dad died, but she w really has such a good heart, and she really, like, stepped up and, like, did everything, made sure that they, whatever, all the logistic stuff that goes on with the death, but also like being there and da da da. And then I think that he just was like, I got to marry this woman. Like,
Yeah.
this woman will make me good. This woman will make me a dad. I don't want to be, some old dad. Like I'm getting up there and all that stuff. And it's really interesting now because I'm reading Sheena's book.
Yeah.
I just interviewed her. It'll be out Tuesday.
Ooh.
The book is really good. The book is really good.
Yeah, I've heard it's
Like,
really
there
good,
there
and
is so much. I know she's done, like, some, big interviews, like Us Weekly and stuff like that, but there's so much in the book, like, especially if you've watched, the show.
yeah.
But even if you haven't, it's just, like, pretty juicy, and so she, there's just so many times. I mean, we love Britney, but it's like, we all know the person that went back to the cheating, whatever, asshole over and over. But imagine if you were able to watch that back
Mm.
and get the whole world to say, go. It's really, honestly, really sad that she did, but you can't blame her. Again, with Sheena's situation, with Brock, with all these people, with Todd and with Tom and Ariana, they are a brand. It is a show. It isn't just,
Yeah.
well, this will be awkward when we sell the house, or, well, my God, he's the captain of the Little League, or what's the church going to say? This is like, what's the whole world going to say? And this is our job,
Mm.
and these are our friends,
Yeah.
and these are. So it's like, I see how you're like, well, I mean, what was she going to do? Go back to Kentucky? No, she has a huge established life here.
Yeah.
But it is refreshing to see her, move on, because
Yeah.
she will get someone better. She will get someone great, or not. Not maybe she never wants anyone again. That might be fine too. At least you'd come home to a peaceful house. Like, who cares if she never has a serious man in her life ever again?
Yeah.
You know?
It's interesting speaking of, like, all the different couples and how they are a brand and they're part of the show. 2 things. Number 1, my son came in my room the other day. He had been watching Love Island with his girlfriend. This is his thing they're watching, and he says,
Yeah.
"You know about this Ariana?" I go, "Yeah, I do." I've known yes, yes, just that's it. And he says, "She's just smoking hot." And I said, "Yeah, she's incredible, right?" And he goes, "Who would ever, like, cheat on a girl like that? Da, 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 da." I said, "Oh, John, it's so many years of reality TV that you have to watch to know, like, the whole story, and, yes, he did cheat on her with her friend, and that was all terrible." I said, "But there's so much more to that story, and obviously she's thriving and doing great." And he's just like, "Well, I just don't even understand." Like, you gotta but my son, as 19, is just baffled that anybody
Well,
would cheat on this gorgeous woman, you know?
right. Well, we know, from whether it's Halle Berry or Ariana or Sheena or Britney, it's not about the girl.
Yeah,
It's never been about the girl. In some cases, maybe if a couple's in a marriage and we're going on a decade of no sex, maybe that guy will, like, find comfort, or
yeah,
it's all about the guy's or girl's, ego and attention,
mm.
and, like, just what that feels like, and it's really not about the other person. It's just like, yeah, obviously. But did you see the
Sheena
news? Did you see the news that Jax is leaving?
yeah, that was gonna be next on my list.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's okay, it's alright. I just wanted to
Yeah.
ask you really following the
Yeah, go
Sheena
ahead.
thread,
Yeah.
I did see something Sheena put out, which was such a great point, which is like, okay, everybody's coming after me because I put this in my book about Brock. So there's 3 things, right? I'm damned if I do and I'm damned if I don't. If I talked about it during, the season 11 when they're wrapping up the whole series, then I'm an asshole because I'm trying to take away from Ariana's storyline, right? And then if I don't talk about it, I'm an asshole because I put all my life on TV and now I'm not talking about it. So she's like, I'm damned if I do and I'm damned if I don't. And then I put it in my book and everybody criticizes that. I'm like, good for her for putting it in her book and
Well,
sell some
I
books.
that's what I told her that. Well, when you read the book, she is a people pleaser, and she, time and time again, they kind of fucked her, from, like, Lisa Vanderpump to the producers to, they used her when they needed her. We know how disposable these reality stars are,
Yeah.
and then they get put in a position where they get, again, disrespected, not feeling appreciated by the producers, and they go, fuck it, I'm going to leave. But then they sit down and they're like, well, am I really going to give up $100,000? I don't know if in 2 years I'll ever be able to make $100,000 in a matter of 6 months. And
Mhm.
so, yeah, you don't blame them for going, okay, I'm going to stick around. Okay, I'll put the wedding on, TV, even though
Yeah.
maybe I really don't want to, but okay, I'll make lemonade out of it. And um yeah, so I think with that, with what she was saying is, I said to her when I found out about it, and I kind of heard just like within the last couple months,
Mhm.
and I kept it a secret, but I was like, good for her. Good for her for saving something for herself. And I said that to her. I go, whether it was going to be an explosive podcast episode of yourself or a paid Dateline, whatever, or a documentary, whatever, or a book.
Dateline.
Thank you for not putting it on a platter and giving it to them again.
Yeah.
Like, good fucking for you. Like, and also there was too much at stake. This isn't one of the things she said is that, what I was jealous of Ariana is that she could walk away from this relationship, and she's hearing about it right as they were still dissecting it and talking about it, about her husband's indiscretion when she was pregnant, affair. And yeah, we all know when we have marital issues, if you've got a house, but especially if you've got kids, and it was a
Yeah.
big deal too for Ariana to walk away too at that time, but especially if you have kids and the person is a great dad,
Yeah.
and all of that. And like, can I look past this? Can I make this work again? Like, so I think, I think it's just very, I think she's strong. And I said, I go, do you know that people are saying that you made it up to sell books? And
Really?
luckily she has not. She's been pretty busy. She's not been in the comment section. She's not been on all the TikTok things. But I mean, 100%, it was not made up to sell books or
Who would make that
whatever.
up? And who would agree to have that made up about them? Like Brock would
Right,
agree,
exactly.
like, "Oh, yeah, just
Yeah,
make me look like a worse piece of shit that people already
yeah,
think I am." I mean, yeah, so speaking of the Valley people, let's do talk about
yeah.
Jax, because Jax announced today, guys, it's Wednesday when we're recording this, that, he announced that he would like everybody to know that he has decided that he's not coming back to the Valley, like many housewives before him make a announcement that they're not coming back to a show because it's their decision. um, I my personal opinion is just all the years watching and studying all these people that probably it wasn't his decision, but they let him say it was his decision. Do you have thoughts?
I would never wanna fire Jax. I know
Because he's
people
such
are like doing a jig or dancing about it, and they're like, "Good, I'm glad he's up." To me, I'm gonna be honest, I have fallen asleep watching The Valley the last 4 episodes,
mm,
this last one included. I fell asleep, I woke up, and it was Janet and Jason talk I saw the photo shoot, and then I
mm,
turned off the TV and I went to bed. Like, I mean, whether he's sober or whatever, he's good TV, and I would have rather had him stay and date somebody new, have
mhm.
that be a drama, because reality star or not, if Jax was just a guy who ran a bar that looked like that, living in Studio City, he would get a girlfriend, no fucking problem,
Yeah.
and she could probably be a high quality woman that's just finds him hot and sexy. She probably would be a good stepmom to Cruz. She might hit it off with Britney. Like,
Mhm.
I would rather see that and have him stick around, get an income that he has to pay child support on.
Right.
'Cause I'm like, if he's not on the show, I don't know what he's getting from the Jax restaurant, but, like, it does go away. When people are, like, not in your face, you do forget about them. I mean, is anyone talking about New Jersey stuff? No.
Right.
They do become irrelevant to an extent. Doesn't mean they can never work, but, like, yeah, you will lose interest. I still think the show could be good. I think they gotta bring back Sheena and Lala and, like, Tom Schwartz. They gotta bring back some people that are in the fold and spice it up a little, but, like, I don't know. I it And I know he was awful to Britney and all that stuff, but it's like there is part of me that has some sympathy because just like Sheena, who started the fucking show,
Yeah.
and then in one season they called her and demoted her, which is in the book, which is a shocking scene the way they did it.
Mm.
And same thing with him. Like he was there from the beginning. It is his when he says to, Lisa Vanderpump, my show. Okay, it's not your show, but come on. And he was
Yeah.
pushing for the Valley. He brought that cast together for years.
Yeah.
So, like, I could see why he was weird, knowing that they're filming without him and all. I think the surveillance in the house was more about the show and what they're saying about him than him being so obsessed with Britney that he needed to know if she was seeing a guy or what she looked like in the morning. I don't think he was obsessed with her like that, sadly.
Mhm.
I think it's less flattering than that. I really do think he was not into her. I think he certainly didn't want to have another kid with her. I think she just wanted to have another kid because that's what her progression was.
Mhm.
Thank God they didn't have another kid, with everything we know about, Cruz's, journey, which I'm sure she's doing everything. And in this day and age, that really helps when you start young, but still that's a lot. It's a lot on the second kid too, to have
Mhm.
a sibling that's special needs. And so it's like, yeah, I always felt like I always felt like he just wasn't that into her.
I agree with a lot of what you're saying. I do think he's good TV, and I did but what's interesting you're saying about, like, okay, we don't remember about Jersey because it's just like we have, gerbil brains, it's just like short-term memory, or is it hamster brain? And Goldfish, and I don't yeah, you're right about the Jersey thing, but when Jax was off the show, and he was off for 3, 4 episodes, he was gone when he was in rehab, which is hilarious. I don't know what kind of rehab it was, but
Well,
he
there's a
was
lot of
it was a
yeah,
lot
go
of
ahead.
you get to go home and check your mail. Um, but I didn't miss him when he was gone. Now, when he came back and had that scene with Zach in the kitchen was just chef's kiss. Now,
Yeah.
other everybody's been fired on Bravo that's ever said is my show. Vicky got fired for it. Jax got
Yes.
fired for it, and then he did it again.
You can
You
fight
know?
for that, and also if you confront Andy on a reunion like Carol Radziwill. "Oh, you
Yeah.
afraid of Bethany too?" My favorite
Mhm.
line that has
Mhm.
ever been said in the history of Bravo is when
Yes.
she said, "Really, Andy? Are you afraid of her too?" And he's like and that just pissed him off. That was the end. That just fucking pissed him off.
And she's got lots of money. But Jax, your point is valid in that he needs an income. And I think that, he started a podcast, quit the podcast, started a podcast, or didn't do that. All these things that he wants to do because he is seen as such a bad guy that it's not fun like to see like seeing Tom Sandoval paint his body and gyrate on a stage is kind of fun because it's funny. But nobody wants to see Jax sit in a chair and give man advice.
Man advice. I mean,
Yeah.
that's the other thing. Like I remember when I was selling my books and stuff, they were like, "Yeah, these other guys like that are comedians and stuff want to do the funny books like the girls were doing, that we all kind of followed in Chelsea's footsteps. A lot of us had books of funny stories and they were like a hot item to sell in the book world." And this publisher said, "Men don't read those books. They don't read parenting books. They don't the books they read are either financial advice, sports, or like a Tom Clancy.
Yeah.
Like, so if they're gonna read like a nonfiction or a fiction, sorry, if they're gonna read a fiction, it's like something like that.
Mhm.
They don't care about funny dad stories reading it. I'm sorry. This is what his opinion was.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there's some like hit books that someone's gonna go, whatever. I'm saying, like, is your husband running out to buy the Jim Gaffigan book? No, you'll
No, but
probably
I but
buy him the
I
you'll
bought
probably
him
buy
that
it for him.
book.
Yeah, for Father's Day, you'll probably buy it for him. You
I
know what I
did.
mean? But it's like
He
and I
didn't read
kind of
it.
feel the same with, like, podcasts, I think they like Joe Rogan because he talks about a myriad of stuff and has interesting people, whatever. But all these, like, tattooed, overly tan life coach men telling men, like, "Hey, man, I used to fuck everything in Vegas, but now let me tell you, like it was because I really had a small heart, or what. I don't know, like who, like remember like the whole thing that Louis went to. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
that guy. I started following that guy.
Oh,
He's terrifying. The guy that runs that and his wife. And I would like, I was kind of like, so I started following them and I'd see their clips. They tried to get on Real Housewives of Orange OC too. And
really?
she's like very attractive. And their story is weird. Like they were Mormon. Then he stopped being Mormon. Then he got all into tattoos. And now he's like a life coach. And they have all this money. I don't know where they get the money because it's like the podcast is not, I don't know who else watches the podcast besides me. And they try to do like a video to get their own reality show and everything. And I'm watching this clip and the clips are so uncomfortable because he's like railroading his wife, like not letting her talk. And
Ooh.
then she's like, I know. And he goes, and you know what you did. And she's like, yeah, I know. And she's so pretty. And I'm like, oh my God. Like, whenever I just watched this other thing of this couple, they're Black and he's like a pastor and the pastor's wife. And it went viral because they're doing a podcast and it's all about how he was never attracted to her and she wasn't his type. And
Wow.
and they're laughing about it and how she said, I knew I was, I knew he had bench warmers, but I was the first to pitch or something like, I knew he had a horse full of stables, but I was the one he was riding on
Ooh.
Tuesdays and Thursdays. I think it was just so disturbing. And she's like, I used to, get his outfits together for him to go see his side chick and everything. And this woman goes, they do a switch, like a stitch. And
Yeah.
this woman's like, yeah, these are my pastors. They literally have people going to their church. I was too, before they did this episode, giving money, hearing that, like, I I just don't understand how so many people are, like, paying for, like, these coaches and this
Yeah.
advice from they're all grifters, from that blue-eyed guy, what's his name? The hot one that I talked about. Why can't I think of his name?
I don't know. Oh, Jay
The
Shetty?
Indian, Jay Shetty's full of shit.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah.
like, all of it. Mel Robbins. Okay, if that's what does it for you, fine. But, like, really?
I have to tell you that it's funny you said Mel Robbins because you've talked a lot about Let Them on your show and the whole,
Mhm.
the scandal involved with it and everything.
And she took it from the
She
poet,
took it
yeah.
from the poet, and I have to tell you that my mom and my sisters came, to the beach, a month or so ago, and my mom said something about the Let Them, and I was like, "Let me tell you what. Let me tell you about that." And my sisters and I kinda told her, like, "Yes, it sounds like a great idea, but, it was stolen," and, we gave her the whole rundown on it, and I was like, "Yeah," I was like, "It was this whole movement of," I said, "People were getting, like, the tattoos and stuff was all from this poem." My mom's like, "Well, I don't like that." I was like, "Well, listen, that's not the point." I said, my mom's like, "But you also can't just do that sometimes. You can't just say, 'Let them,' because what, you just gonna leave somebody sitting at lunch because you just didn't feel like going?" And I was like, "Right, I
The
think it
whole
just."
idea is so lame, and according to, like, the poet, that really wasn't the intention of, like, if your friends don't ask you to brunch, let them.
Yeah,
Well, of course you're gonna let them. Are you gonna go show up at the brunch uninvited at 50 and, like, scream at them? Like,
right.
yeah, we got it, and that's why there
Yeah.
were, like, funny things about, like, it if the IRS comes after you, let them. If then it like, all these funny things, but she's a smart person. She knew right away to trademark it. She knew right away to write the book. Purposely never mentioned that she'd heard of it. She got the merch. She made it that no one could even make an Etsy shirt out of it. Like, I get it. She trademarked it all, So it's like, no, she was an attorney who was an alcoholic, who was bankrupt, who was like, I got to do something. I'm just going to get into public speaking.
Mhm.
Which is, like, all that makes me think sometimes, like, I don't know, it, like, turns me against, like, any that and seeing too many religious, like, cult documentaries. It kinda makes it hard to, like, ever,
Trust
like,
anybody.
really listen to someone, like, really
Mhm.
like, who are you who's, like, up there that's my age? Like, when I was younger going to church, I was like, "Oh my god, it's a priest, and, he went to school for the" but now I'm like, like, I mean, I still but I don't know. It's hard. It's hard to, like, believe when so many people can just immediately be like an expert and give advice and all that kind of stuff, and you're like,
Like,
and they
why
find out that
why
they're
are they an expert
creepers.
and
Yeah.
why am I not an
Yeah.
expert? Because I've had a lot of lived experience. I could be an expert too, you know?
But you are. I
And
mean, you do it on your podcast, but you're not telling people to, pay you for something special or a master class or whatever. That's why, like, when I started the podcast and even Patreon, I was like, my Patreon's just going to be a product, and it's going to be a digital product, and it's going to be an extra episode. Like, it's
mhm.
not going to be anything other than that, because I'm just like, that just seems like weird. But then I'm like, well, you got to make the money when you make it. Like, I just saw Teresa and Whitney Rose like rolling around in some show in Australia. And
Oh,
I'm
I
like, you
saw
know
a
what? But
clip
I'm
of
like,
that. I
if
was like, "What is that?" Yeah.
but you know what? They're not filming. They get the call. It's fun for them to do. They make a paycheck. They just have to show up. They're not producing the show. They're not coming up with the content. And if these people in Melbourne all want to pay to go see them, let them.
Let them. They got a free trip
Let
to
them. Let
Australia.
let them do it, like, because I saw this one girl, who does a lot of content anti-Teresa, and she's like, "I mean, how embarrassing, like, she's 50 years old, whatever." I'm like, "Well, you could say that about any woman of a certain age that's, like, dancing, singing, being on a Real Housewife show,
Mhm.
singing karaoke, like, we're all gonna be embarrassing to our kids at some point, no matter what we do, whether we're on OnlyFans or we're, like, and it's like,
Doing a
so what
podcast.
that we have kids? Like, so,
Yeah.
she's got to make her money, and if she wants to do it, let her do it.
Yeah, why is that
Let
the s
them.
why is that the
Yeah.
slam that she's got
I always
kids?
hate it
Like,
when it's like and also, like,
mhm.
I hate it when it's like, "Please, you're 50. You're done." It's like, then say it about a woman who's 35 that's also wearing the same outfit and
Yeah.
rolling around on the ground. Like, what does it matter?
I don't
Like,
think the age has anything to do with it.
yeah,
Maybe because I am that age, but,
I
um,
know.
I gotta tell you something too. So I heard your episode this week with Matt Murphy, which was so weird because I've been laying around since I've been sick. I had a lot of, like, old Datelines in 2020 and all and stuff to kill the time, and I kept seeing Matt Murphy. I was like, "Wow." I mean, like, from 10, 20 years ago on these shows,
Oh,
as, like,
yeah, yeah.
as experts and stuff, and then he was on your show this week, and, let me tell you something. He's got some controversial opinions about,
Oh,
like
yeah.
Karen Reed and stuff, and I actually like when he's on because he's not going to just agree with you, and he's gonna say, "Nope, for my opinion, it's this, that, and the other," and that kinda started making me think about Karen Reed, and you're saying you think when they do because there will be multiple movies and projects,
Yeah.
and there will be. So, you were saying you think Drea de Matteo would be great. I
Oh,
think
yeah.
I think she would
Yeah.
be good, but I also think Michelle Monaghan, who played the actress friend on White Lotus of that girl group, she was the
Oh,
actress.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, she'd
She
be
would
great.
I really would well, I'm
I mean,
sure there'll be several.
there's gonna be kept several, I think, just like, Long Island Lolita and,
Mhm.
Drew Barrymore played her, and,
Yeah.
I remember there were 3 actresses that each ABC did one, NBC and CBS all did TV movies about the Long Island Lolita, which was this young girl who was having an affair with this guy who was fixing her car, and she went and shot his wife in the head,
Mhm.
and Amy Fisher was the name of the girl. And it was just, and one was from the perspective of um, Joey and Mary Jo Buttafuoco,
Mhm.
where he was completely innocent and she was obsessed. One was from her point of view, Amy Fisher's point of view, where she was being groomed and he told her to shoot his wife. And the
Mhm.
third one was just like from a journalist's point of view. And it was like, yeah, so there'll be a ton. But I will say about that episode, because it's funny because I was reading the comments on YouTube. And when I cover crimes and stuff like that once in a while, and people just go, get your facts straight and get your da da da. And I'm like, first of all, we covered like 7 big news
Yeah,
type of things.
totally.
And he was not the prosecutor on all of them. I'm not an attorney. We will mess up names and facts, and you might know more about Karen Reed because you sat home for 4 years and watched everything on it, which is great.
Mhm.
And you can comment and say that we're wrong. But the other part of me is like, well, I'd rather have 400 comments yelling at us than none.
Yeah.
So, be mad at
Yeah.
it but if it's like Juicy Scoop, Juicy Crimes, whatever I put out, is not the show to go to if you're looking for, no mistakes and completely factual. Like, it's just two people talking about a crime or what we think may have happened,
Yeah.
like, and it's great to have a Matt Murphy who actually is prosecuting a case. But none of those cases we talked about on Tuesday's show, he had an active role in. So
He had some strong feelings. He has some strong feelings about you having Sherry Papini on your show.
Yeah.
And I thought it was interesting because he agreed. You're like, look, she's here in front of me talking to me.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying I believe every word she said, but it's different when you're sitting in front of somebody and they're a guest. And, because he agreed with you on that but I mean, he was like, oh, next time, give me a list of questions for her. And I'm sure Heather's going to be, let me get out my questions. And, let me grill you completely, make you uncomfortable.
I mean, now I honestly I just don't care. Like, I feel like nobody even cares. I mean, even that episode, honestly, between us, like, didn't do that great as far as like the clips we cut.
Yeah.
I just don't think people care that much about it. Like, I was obsessed with it, which is why when the opportunity came to interview her, I was like, I don't care that she did 2 others prior to mine. Like, I just want to talk to her about it. But yeah, it's like her story has changed with other people's podcasts. There's things that she said in theirs that she didn't say in mine. And then after mine, she did another one. And I'm just like, yeah, I don't think any of us will totally know the real truth, but I don't think she's told the real truth yet. And I don't want to hear the next version of it either. It's like, you just don't care after a while.
I agree.
But I do think she should be able to be with her kids. I do. I don't think a liar shouldn't be able to see her kids. And I think kids need to see their mom. So I will say that even if she did this and even if she lied, I think maybe they don't live with her, but she should be able to like see them and they should know that their mom cares about them. I don't think that benefits children, but
I agree. I think that there's something there that could be worked out for sure. But I will say, if you guys want to hear the like the background scoop about that interview, you put it on your Patreon. It was pretty juicy, pretty juicy. So okay, the Blake Lively situation, I can't follow it. I'm done trying. I've given
Oh my God.
up.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about that. Okay, so when that started, I was into it. And I will say at first, I totally believed Blake.
Yeah.
Because I was like, yeah, I do think it was weird that all of a sudden after the movie was over with, and it was like all of a sudden I was seeing all these interviews and things like that. And recently I saw the same thing where it was people saying that she was awful. She was awful here. She was awful at this restaurant. She was doing this. She was doing that. Let's show an old clip of when she and Parker Posey was rude to a girl. And like, that was interviewing about the movie and all that. And I literally just came across a TikTok video, which is set up by Scientology to bash Leah Remini and this other actor. And I came across it and I see it about Leah Remini. I'm like, that's weird. I've met her and she's totally not that. She's not rude to the catering staff. She's never has been that way. And I was like, okay, but people have an opinion. Then I saw another one about this other guy. And so I looked up that guy's name and I'm like, has this guy left Scientology? Yes, he has.
Okay.
So I'm like, they literally created a fake podcast. It actually looks like a fake documentary where they're cutting clips of just people saying, well, I knew her then and I worked with her here and bashing her. And so I was like, with the Blake Lively stuff, I'm like, yeah, maybe there was something in which they put it out there or they pushed it or it was bots or something. Then the more that came out, I was like, well, there's more here. This doesn't make sense. And I don't believe that there was a sexual harassment thing. And I do think Ryan Reynolds is weird. And I do think all the stuff about him in the Deadpool where he was mocking his character and everything is strange. What's interesting about this is that, a couple of people we know that do what we do that we all love, like Zack Peter, he has really, read everything and done all this stuff and which is great. But I personally have kind of lost interest with the Van Dam or whatever the company is that like I whenever somebody talks about the weird fake company that actually did the subpoena to find out about the text messages, it just gets like too technical. It's kind of like what happened, I think, with the Bravo pop culture fans that we all share, losing interest in the Tom Girardi stuff.
Right.
Like after a certain point, we were like, So what? I don't care about these fucking earrings, Ron Richards. Like you just like whatever,
You get tired of
and
it. You get
but
tired of hearing
but
about it
the
if there's nothing new. Yeah.
but the latest thing that happened is Zack was doing a live show
Yeah.
and he was served.
Okay, I thought that was a
He
joke.
was
I thought that was a joke because I saw Zach put
Wait,
that
is it a
clip.
joke?
I thought I saw Zach put that clip up and I was like, "Whoa." Like, I made a comment. I think you made a comment. Lots of people did. And I was like, "Wow, Zach."
You know what? I texted him and he didn't write me back. So maybe it was a joke. But look I'm going to tell you exactly what I texted because I was like, this is fucking great because I know he's not getting paid by Wayfair. And I'm like, this is such great, juicy content. This is going to make people want to go to your live show. And maybe
I
and then
think
he
if
never
you
wrote me back.
I think that I watched the whole thing and then it was maybe like a 5-minute clip or something, and I got towards the end and whoever was the guest next to him, they joked around like that the guest had done that as like a joke on Zach.
Oh.
But it made you
Because then I
watch
was
it.
like,
Yeah, it
no,
made you watch that
well, I
clip.
didn't watch the whole thing.
See?
I just believed it.
Yeah.
And because I was like, without a crystal ball.
Yeah. Mhm.
I don't know if I was writing her. I'm like, what are you being subpoenaed? Like, what
Mm.
is happening? And then I was kind of like, look, I've covered it a lot. At first I was pro Blake, then I was, pro Justin. I will say when I was pro Blake, I got a way more hate
Mm.
and bots and things than when I was pro Justin.
Mhm.
So she thinks he's doing a hate campaign on her. He thinks she's doing a hate campaign on him.
Yeah.
I don't really think either one of them are actively doing. I really don't. I don't. I think these things just happened and it's going to be impossible to prove like if there was a real campaign against each other. But the whole thing yeah, then I'm like, well, what is the lawsuit? It's just so confusing. But
Yeah, it's gotten so down
it's
into the
gotten so
weeds
confusing. But I've
that
always
it's
said
confusing.
it won't hurt Ryan Reynolds. He will do
Mhm.
another Deadpool. 15-year-old boys will go see it. They
Yep.
don't care that his wife may have been annoying at an ice cream shop. That's not gonna keep people from seeing the
Yep.
movies.
Yep.
So, that's so funny. So, okay, I thought it was real. I guess I didn't watch the whole clip. I thought it was real. And I wrote him saying, this is like amazing for you. Because I'm like, this is totally good for your like live shows to get people to want to go.
Yeah.
And I was served before doing a stand-up show.
Really? Ugh.
Yes. So then I started to think it was this crazy thing where I did a show at a San Diego club,
Mhm.
and Peter came at the end of the 5 days, and there was an accounting
Mhm.
mistake, and he said to the manager, "This is wrong." He goes, "Okay, well, we'll talk about it tomorrow." Fine. We leave. Next day, Peter, emails them to say, "Hey, there's this accounting mistake. It should be
Yeah.
this amount." The guy flipped out,
Mm.
and, it got to be a whole big thing. Maybe I'll share the story or not. But anyway, in the process, they went and then served me. And so I'm about to do La Jolla Comedy Store which is another part of San Diego. And I park in the headliner spot in the back. It's not a huge club. And this pretty hot guy, maybe like a 48, 50-year-old guy comes up to me with a stack of things.
Mhm.
Now, sometimes when creepy people come up to you to have you sign a little thing, which I'm like, good luck getting $2 for this, right?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
always do it. And sometimes they're giving you 8. And by the 8th one, you're like, okay, dude,
Yeah.
enough. But
Mhm.
I'm always super flattered, right? But they usually don't look this cute or fit. So I was like,
Mhm.
oh, these fans are getting cuter, right? So because and then he's like, hi, I'm with the San Diego police force or something. And he
Mm.
shows me his badge. Then I start getting real wet because I'm like, oh my God, I have a escort. Because the only time this happened to me was when I did City Winery in Chicago. And then the next time I did it, they didn't have them, but they did have Chicago's finest there one time. And I just felt so special to
Oh,
have real security.
walk you in?
Or yeah, and just have a security guy there. I just felt like
Nice.
this is the hottest thing ever, right?
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, hi. And he goes, you've been served. And I was like, oh. And so
Ah,
then I'm shaking and I had to go do my stand-up set. but I talked about it on stage right away. I was like,
Yeah.
I just got served. Like, oh my God, like, I told the whole story just to like ease my nerves. But so, and then I had a friend of mine that had this other thing going on. And because she had posted that she was coming to my show, they served her at my show. So I'm
Stop.
like, when you're being served, so I'm like, I live in a gated community now, and I don't really like go to a regular job like Chelsea Lately or something. So when I saw that, I was like, okay, if they're really serving like Zach and whoever else, will I be served because they think maybe I switched over to being team Justin Baldoni or whatever?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because when I went with Nick on, Nick was very pro Blake, Nick Vial, and then
Yes,
I
he
went
is.
on his show and he was very still pro Blake and Ryan, and I was very not. I was like, hey, but I was still trying to like ride the wave, but whatever. So I'm like, maybe they think somehow he got to me, and but I'm like, I don't know how they're gonna get this to me because I don't have any shows, I don't have any, and so I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, well, I'm going to an event on Thursday. I'm going to Guy Branum invited me to the podcast taping that Bowen Wang has with Matt Rogers.
Las Culturistas. Yeah.
Yes, I
Yeah.
forgot that how to, I'm me
Yeah.
with pronunciation.
Yeah.
Anyway, they're doing a live filming a show that actually aired on Bravo.
Okay.
So Guy is like, would you like to go to that? I've had Matt Rogers on my show. I'm like, yeah, that sounds like fun. So I was like, I mean, I literally was like, I kind of want to be served. Like,
Don't
I
say
want to
that,
be
Heather.
served. Like,
Don't say it.
well, I didn't do anything. I'm served for the subpoena that I know I didn't ever talk to Justin Baldoni or his people.
Yeah.
So that's why I was like, what I thought Zach really was, I
Mhm.
kind of thought it was good because I knew he wasn't. And I'm like, then go be part of it. You did such good journalism. You did such a convincing thing that they thought, but now that you told me it's not true.
Sorry.
So the
They're sure
only people
humble.
that were really served were Perez and Candace Owens. So do you think their people just picked like the two biggest names then?
They probably did, and they got to have some semblance of proof, I think, to serve them to try to get their information, right? You can't just pick the two biggest names out of the sky. Then you're going to pick Dumois, you're going to pick Heather McDonald, you're going to pick like names of people that, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but
You got to
I
have
didn't
proof.
overly do like the extent that like other people have done. I would just, but I do have one clip about Blake that just on my Instagram alone is like in the millions. So that's why I was like, if they're really going after
Wow.
like everybody that's talked about it, I was like, maybe
That's a
yeah,
wide net. That's a wide net.
who knows? Yeah, so who knows with that? That could go on for a really long time.
I
But I
want
do
to.
just feel like people are losing a little interest in it
Oh,
because
I've
it's just
totally
getting
lost
too
interest.
confusing. Yeah.
I'm only interested when they talk about Taylor Swift. Um, okay, let's
Yes.
talk about the Denise Richards divorce. Like that kind of came out
Well,
of the blue, right?
I invited her to the party that you went to,
Yeah,
my 10-year party,
yeah, so fun.
and it was great. I didn't, I DM'd a lot of people, sent them the invite. It's summer. Some of them I heard from, "Oh my god, I'd love to." Some of them went through my PR person. But I didn't hear from her, but I was like, "Whatever," but she'd
Yeah.
been on the show and we were friendly. Anyway, she wrote me a few days ago
Mm.
back, and it was like 2:30 in the morning DM, and she's like, "Oh my god, I'm just seeing this now. I'm so sorry I missed it. Like, here's my number, and please let me know next time," or whatever. So then I was like, and this is after I already like talked about the breakup with
Okay.
Stu,
Yeah,
with
on
her
your
divorce.
show. Uh-huh.
And I didn't say anything bad really about her, but I was like, whatever. And I mean, I was like pro her all the way. Like, he seems like a nightmare. And so anyway, so then I wrote her back and I was like, sorry that you missed it. Sorry that you missed it. I'd love to have you come back on the show. Like, of course, I'd rather want her to come on the show. I'm sure she probably is not looking to do shows until this gets settled. But that was another one where people were saying, I think it's fake, to like protect her assets because he's got legal issues. And again,
Oh,
I'm like, I have never really seen when people think it's fake that it's turned out fake. Like,
yeah.
short of the yes, the Sherry Papini, both The Sherry Papini I was suspicious of when she said it was the 2 Mexican women. I'm like, why women don't kidnap and why would they destroy her looks if she was going to be trafficked? I was suspicious the day of Jussie Smollett. I was doing, it was our topic. We were doing Wendy Williams. And I was like, and they said there were 2 white men who were wearing masks and MAGA hats. And I'm like, well, how do they know that they're white if they're wearing masks? And they're like, don't say that on stage.
Right.
And I was like, well, I'm not saying, I'm just saying like,
Yeah.
how would you know? Like the voice? Like I'm just because, or the back, like I was like, so I remember thinking, and right off the bat, Chris and I talked that day, Chris Frangiola, and he's like, something's fishy. I'm like, yeah, but I'm not touching a racial topic. Like, forget it.
Yeah.
So with this, with this one, I don't think that if this was a fake divorce, that you would also put in all those demands of money and this and that and saying, I have no income and everything. But then someone would argue, well, they're setting up the thing so that whoever is suing him shouldn't sue him. But I just don't think people would fuck with their marriage and their family like that. I don't know, but maybe people do. It seems strange.
People said that, with Dorit and PK about their divorce. They were like, oh, she didn't do so great the season before in Housewives. So they're going to pretend to get a divorce and then pretend to reconcile for the show. And, people say that all the time, especially, people on our shows like, oh, they're getting a divorce for ratings or whatever. They're really not getting divorced. A lot of people said that about Erica and Tom as well. Like she's trying to protect herself because he's getting sued.
Yeah, and Kyle and Mauricio too. I don't know. And speaking of Dorit and PK, another horrible shooting and robbery happened very close to their house in Encino. Yes, this just happened yesterday. So there was a woman, she's been on a musical supervisor, executive producer of American Idol for years. They live in a very nice, like redone modern house in Encino. Encino's not gated, but it's very expensive homes. And meaning, anyone can just drive onto the street. Yeah. And someone said, oh, I see a suspicious person, whatever. And like a few days ago, the cops came and they didn't find anything. And then nobody heard from them for like 4 days. And they went in there and they were shot dead in 2 different rooms. And they caught the guy because he didn't have a huge record, but he had enough of a record that there was a fingerprint and he was in the system. And he was like a 22-year-old guy. Oh. And it was a robbery gone wrong. He came in with a gun and he was robbing them and they walked in on him. And I guess he panicked or whatever and shot them and left. And so I'm like, that was always so weird, the thing. And I understood why it was weird. And I talked about it at length, why I thought it was weird, their crime.
Dorit and PK.
Dorit and PK's crime for many reasons. But it's like anything. There's so much crime, like, the fact that they left the phone, the fact that they came at 10, they didn't take her wedding ring. I'm like, well, the wedding ring could have been in a jewelry bag. They may have not even thought to look at her fingers because they knew everything was in the closet. I don't know, but I feel like at this point with Sherry Papini, Justice Smollett, I feel like there's one thing cops want to find out. It's if someone is faking a crime. Yeah. And I think that if it wasn't real, if there was some type of thing behind her back, and listen, I have discussed this thinking, was it? And I'm just saying, I don't think so now. I definitely and I think that was what really got Garcelle to a place where she's like, I'm quitting. Because I think she did talk about something that a lot of people were talking about. I think that, she brought it up again. And then at the reunion, she just looked like a bitch. Yeah. And then nobody had her side at that point, because after a year and a half, there was nothing suspicious. Now, could it come out 2 years from now? Sure. Sherry Papini took 4 years. Sure, it could. But the crime that's happening, like, in LA and stuff. No, I mean, it happened to Kim Kardashian. People thought that was fake. We know that wasn't fake.
Right.
Like, I don't know. But
Ugh.
I feel badly now that that there was any kind of speculation. But I just think that with
Well, I
their
don't think if
marriage,
there
it
was
just
any speculation on that, Dorit wasn't in on it.
I always said she was never in on it either.
Yeah,
But
she didn't
like
know.
I think that it was just a case with their marriage of like, when she met him, I don't know if he was divorced or getting divorced, but he'd already had a whole family and a whole life.
Yeah.
And she was this younger girl who's marrying this rich guy who shows the world and buys her anything and is very flashy. And she probably just, wanted to suck his D every night and tell him how great he was and all this other. And she was pregnant. They had Jagger before they got married. So she got tied it in with a baby and did all this stuff. And then she changed. And she changed because she's aged 15 years.
Right.
And because she became a mother to 2 kids and she became famous. So yeah, those 3 things, you're not going to be the same eager to get on her knees woman when you were, 45 and she was 25. Like it's a totally different story now that you're like 58 and he did write me though, because I said they were 20 years apart.
Yeah.
They're only 8.5 years apart.
Well, that's shocking because he does look
It's
quite a bit
totally
older.
shocking. So
Yeah.
he wrote me. He like heard what I said and he wrote me and was like, just so you know, we're only 8 years apart. And that's when they were like still together or something. And I was like, oh, okay. Well, she looks really young.
That can't be the first time he's heard that.
I wasn't good. Yeah, like remember when Kathy Hilton goes 56? I thought he was 56 when I met him like 20 years ago.
Okay, let me ask you about, so Rachel Zoe is becoming a cast member of Beverly Hills. I'm very excited about it. But the first thing I thought of was because when you think of Rachel Zoe, I think about the Rachel Zoe Project, the show. It would have Brad Goreski. Well, Brad Goreski has made a whole side career of doing those Housewives impressions where he like puts on the gowns and he's not going to be able to do that now because of his feud with Rachel Zoe.
Yeah, but he should probably hang that up anyway, honestly. Like, it's kind of like me with the Barbies. Like, it's fun, but like, you know what I was just saying? Like, I was so obsessed with the AI, those AI babies that do the reunions. But
those Atlanta ones are so hilarious.
They are cute. But now, like, I'm like, okay. Like anyone could put that together. It's not like a talent now to do it.
Yeah.
And so and now you keep seeing them like, and I'm like, some are better than others, but like, I'm just kind of like,
that's the software. I asked my producer about it. I goes, can anybody do this? Like, could I do this with an episode of my show? And she said, you can, but to get the software is very expensive. She's like, do you want me to look into it? I go, no. I thought it was like a button you could press.
Right. It's going to be over with. You know what I mean? Like, so I kind of feel like like mouthing something, like he's literally lip syncing their voices. He's not doing an impression, but I get it. It's fresh, and it's funny, and it's shared. But like, he really is such an amazing stylist. I mean, he styled Demi Moore for the last year and a half.
Yeah.
And every single, now granted, she's gorgeous and stunning and skinny, but every single thing he put her in was stunning. Like, he should just stick with like being a fashion person. Like, I mean, I don't know. Like, fine, go ahead. But I feel like if he was sitting around with his husband, who's a great, sitcom writer, if he was like, oh, now Rachel's going, maybe I can't do this, and I'd be like, this is your sign from God to like, move on. Like when I was doing all the Barbies, and for those that don't know, I started to do these like Barbie reenactments, and they were a lot of work. So I would get the Barbie, and at first I was just trying to make their outfits. And then I had a great juicy scooper go, I can do that for you. And so then we'd see like a reunion photo before, and she would get all the outfits and send them. And I would go to Target and I would like pick out based on their faces, or someone would send me old Barbies and I'd find like one that really kind of looked like, or they'd say, this really looks like Sutton or whatever. And it was really fun. And I would do them, but I would do the voices and I would just reenact the episodes and make fun of it. And I had someone helping me at the time, and then she left and like got married and did a whole nother thing. And so when she left, I kind of felt like, and when she said, okay, I'm going to do something else now. Her name was Kelly, and she was really good. And I go, well, I just want you to know I'm probably going to stop the Barbies. Like, and I was literally felt like I can't do it alone. And
Yeah.
it's just, and the thing is that it did like boost my following a little bit, but because it wasn't my face, I felt like people just were like, oh, who does the Barbies? Blah, blah. So then when we were at BravoCon together, this girl comes up to me and she goes, I do the whatever she calls, I forgot her name. And she goes, I know you hate me because I do Barbies now. And I go, I don't hate you.
You're like,
I
I don't
think
even know
it's
what you're talking
great.
about. Yeah.
No, I'd seen them and I thought they were good. Like she would do the voice. She would actually take the audio from the show
Okay.
because she doesn't do voices, which made it even better, honestly. She did a really, really good job at it and everything. But I go, no, go for it. I just felt it was very time consuming and it's not like something that was upping my profile. I wasn't making money from it. The girl that was helping me with all the outfits, she also said, hey, like this hasn't done that, even though I tag her every time.
Yeah.
Betsy Wiley, who did it. And she goes, I just feel like this isn't. And I go, totally get it. Like it's fine, And so anyway, then, but I don't know if I don't follow the girl anymore, if she still does, but now it's like, oh, you can do it with AI or you can make the Barbies like move now and all this stuff. So I'm like, I don't know. I feel like that like Bravo like fandom and fun kind of goes in like waves of things,
Totally.
And like I feel right now it's not a huge wave.
Yeah.
Like I feel it's kind of like there's different stuff that, I don't know. Like did you watch OC?
I watched the first episode of OC. Let me see what my notes are here for you. We've only seen the first episode so far. Now,
Right.
I gotta say the best part of the whole episode for me was Shannon doing the drums at the Red Door Spa. Just her, that's just Shannon being wacky. And she's just
Do you know
like,
what? I think I fell asleep. I think I fell asleep during
Heather,
that one too.
you're falling
I'm
asleep during
telling
our
you.
shows.
I'm like, they just, to me, I don't know. Like,
They went to the Red Door
okay.
Spa and they're doing like an outdoor thing
Okay.
with
Well,
drums.
Shannon Bedore, I will say, Shannon Bedore is good TV and she should stay forever. Like,
Yeah.
It was really funny because following this one guy and he was like, his name's like Faray, I think. He came to the party. He's really funny. He's an influencer. He's black. He's cute. He's young.
Mm.
Do you remember him? He's so
No.
funny.
Wish I
Anyway,
would have met him.
I gotta have him on the show. So anyway, he's like, like the way he does this thing, he was just like, he's like, I'm sorry, I don't need to follow Emily and Gina because I am not gonna be team unfabulous ever. He's like, at least Katie, is fabulous, like in her way. He's like, those two are just not. He goes, those two are women you'd see shopping at TJ Maxx. Like he was just, and
Yeah.
I thought, oh my gosh, like I personally think they're smart. I like them. I think but that's not what you're looking for in a Housewives. And I think that
But they've been on for so long now, Heather. Every season, everybody's like, fire them. I think they've been on like 6 seasons. They're never going away.
They're never going away. And I think the difference is when you watch like Real Housewives of New York, when they all started, they were in their 40s and they did have young kids. And we did see, Ali Shapiro, Jill's daughter, go to a fat camp. And like we did see Luann's son like try to do breakdancing once.
Terrible.
But there weren't these big drawn out storylines about their kids.
I don't like the thing with Emily. I don't. I think she should. I think I understand that it's like we're going to show everything, but he's 10. And so when he's 14 and those kids are really on their devices, it's just going to be fodder for other kids to make fun of him. Or I don't like it. And I like Emily a lot. I just don't like it.
I think 10 is too young. I mean, what Britney is doing, I think is good. First of all, she needs to provide for her family.
Yes.
And she is going to get help and the best recommendations and anything from
She could be an
other.
advocate for kids, with
Yes, and
autism,
she's
and
an
she could yes.
advocate. When you're dealing with that, you need other moms to come and say, "This is what you should do. Let me help you." And she is getting great support, and she's giving great support to other parents. In her defense, though, they come to her and they're like, "What's going on?" And if she's really stressed about this, which any mom would, they're like, "Well, this is why you should share it." So, and now she gets criticized for not sharing. Now, if she didn't share it, she'd have to fake fight with Shane. Like they all have to keep their jobs. They all have to pretend to do a striptease for their father-in-law in Vegas. I don't know. Like we saw, what do you want from these people?
Yeah.
That's why all of them, anybody that gets on these shows has got to start another business so that
Yeah.
they didn't do it all for nothing. So they just don't end up divorced and broke. I mean,
I just
you end
think
up
I don't know, I just feel like the little boy's 10, he's in school, the kids now are starting to
I don't think no,
message
I
all
agree
that,
with you.
and
I
and
agree
he's
with
got an
you.
eating
I would have
disorder, and the other boys are gonna make fun of him. I don't know, it's
I
just,
personally would have not shared it,
yeah.
because obviously that scene was so set up to share. We're
Yes.
having snacks. You're gonna say you don't want a snack, but the other kid
Yeah.
didn't want a snack either, didn't he? I mean, both of them didn't want a snack. I can't remember,
It
but
was just a gateway into just Shane coming in like, "What's he eating?"
right. So
Well,
it's
he'll
like,
eat
let's
eventually. Yeah.
plan it. Let's plan this conversation and all this kind of other stuff. And then, but then she's more concerned, but she's gonna sue the nanny who DM'd her and said, "Yeah, they talk. Yeah, those kids know that Emily hates Heather." So she's gonna try to sue about that. Yet she's gonna put her kids medical records on
This
air. It's just kind of
storyline about the nanny, I was done with it last season, and I'm still done with it, and it just seems like they all dislike Katie, which is fine. They can all dislike somebody. There's probably a lot going on there that we don't know about.
yeah,
Um, but this whole thing about the nanny said this, I'm like, "Okay, come on. Either get the nanny on to say what she said, or just let's quit talking about the nanny. This is stupid."
yeah. I even feel like it's just such a micro topic that I'm like,
Yeah. Yeah. You
I
quit
don't
talking
know.
about
Well,
this
I
stuff.
mean, I'm gonna watch it. I will go back and watch the other one that I one the one that I
The
fell
other one
asleep
you
to.
fell asleep,
But
the valley.
yeah, the Valley and the other one, I will watch it, but
Are you
I
watching
mean,
Miami? Are you caught up on the Atlanta reunion?
I am watching Miami. I think that Martina and whatever her name is, Juliana, suck and goodbye. You're fucking awful. You're so mean to Gertie. I can't believe that she tweeted no
That
one
was
should have a
terrible.
surrogate. You can't have it all. It just shows her privilege. It was just so gross. And yeah, I'm glad when I first saw that and bloggers and, Instagram people were posting it. My first question was I DM'd someone who posted it and I go, when was this? I thought maybe it
Right.
was 10 years ago. And I was like, if it was 10 years ago, come on, No, it was
It was recently.
July 3rd. And I'm like, what?
And why? Why does the world need to know Martina Navratilova's opinion on surrogacy? Do you know
But
what I
also,
mean?
so because are you thinking you're superior because you adopted 2 kids at 67 or whatever you are? And
It's
through the
just
foster care system, which is totally great if you did that, good for you. But do you want a fucking medal? And that
right.
someone else that goes through a surrogate so that they can, um, I just had a girl on my show, an actress, and she was trying to get pregnant for a long time. Realized she didn't have any eggs left. She got an egg donor, she got a sperm donor, she got a surrogate to carry the baby because she couldn't carry the baby either, all as a single mother because she couldn't adopt it as a single mother. And
Mm.
then about a week before the surrogate was going to give birth, she and Fred Armisen, the actor, fell in love, and
Yeah.
now they're married, raising a 3-year-old. So it's yeah, no one should wait around for the guy. And sometimes adoption isn't easy if you and the other part, yeah, she was single and she was over 40. So
Triple.
I thought the whole Julia thing, acting crazy, pouring the water in her, she is afraid of losing her job too, and is
Mhm.
being performative. And it's
Yeah.
that's a thing. It's and now we're all too sophisticated. We all recognize it. And it just doesn't feel authentic or whatever.
Agree.
But I like Miami because I like the city and I think it's pretty, it's fun to look at, and they're all kind of fun and interesting. I will say Kiki's storyline is boring. Sorry.
She's so funny. Kiki has great one-liners.
First
It
of all,
is
did you even know she had kids until this season?
no,
I
and
thought
then I
she
was
was
like,
single.
I did too.
I'm
I
like,
was
"Wait,
like,
she has 2 kids?"
I had no
I was like,
idea.
"How is that?" That
Maybe
is
it was
so weird.
maybe it was told to us before we fell asleep. I mean, I don't know, but I didn't know she
I
had
just thought
kids.
that was kinda strange, and so I'm like, "Okay, Kiki, I guess, can be a part of it, whatever." But,
I miss Dr.
anyway,
Nicole because I loved looking at her pretty face. I loved Dr. Nicole.
and she was smart and everything, and I guess the story is that she didn't wanna do the show because she found out that the new girl was coming, and at one time, that girl dated her now husband.
Yeah, and she also I saw, again, just a post somewhere that said that she also found out that somebody on the cast, maybe that girl, had hired a private detective to, like, try to dig up dirt.
Mm, I think she was referring to Marisol.
Oh, really? Why would Marisol do that? Why would
The
Marisol?
way I saw it is that she said, "This girl who wasn't a regular cast member
Mhm.
found a detective to try to, like, dig up some shit on me," and that's when she's just like, "I'm out."
I don't even know why Marisol would do that. It doesn't seem like she would care that much. She seems so
I don't know.
I love Marisol.
I mean, I think Marisol's really funny. Like,
Yes.
I think she's, like, quality on the show. I think Alexia is I mean, I think they're all good. There's no one that I'm like, don't I mean, except
It
I don't
it
know, we'll see. I'm glad Julia got a facelift, though. She looks prettier, like, and then that was revealed.
Adriana,
Of
I'm
course
like,
she did.
I don't care about
Adriana's
Adriana.
facelift, she looks really young,
I just
so
don't
good for her.
every time she comes on screen, I'm like, "Who is that?" I
I
don't
don't even know who it
remember.
is either. I'm
Yeah,
literally like, "Wait, who is that?" And then she's like with her friend I wouldn't be surprised if the French guy was, like, the paid boyfriend. Remember when Kenya had the paid boyfriend?
yeah,
And a lot of them do that. I
yeah.
always remember when Garcelle, not Garcelle,
Giselle.
Wait, Gi Giselle. Remember when Giselle had that, like, guy that was, like, on Summer House for, like, a week, and
Yeah.
he was, like, coming around that was the fakest.
He was, like, standing around in
That
her kitchen. We're like, "We don't believe he's there
Yeah, and
making
then
you
she's like,
breakfast."
I'm like, "That" she literally typed up that script and, like, sent it to him the night before. That was the fakest relate like, Giselle, I don't think wants any dude.
I think
I mean,
she's just happy
I
living
don't
her life.
Yeah, she's happy living her life, but she had to go they had to go do that Paradise Hotel thing where, like, she was not into any of them, as she should. They all sucked. They were all fucking
Ooh,
gross losers.
I did hear that Lala had been approached to be on the next season of Love Hotel. Now you're friends
That
with
would be great.
Lala. Don't you think that would be great?
I
Younger
think that would be
people.
great. I would hope that she would do it. I mean, why not?
Yeah.
But if she did, she would probably say, "You guys gotta get me, like, a rental house around the corner,
Yeah,
and
for the kids yeah.
my brother and my mom and the kids all have to be there, and I have to be able to, like, go spend the night there, but then I'll do all the other stuff."
Yeah. Yeah,
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 I
yeah,
know
good
she
point.
would not be comfortable, like, even leaving for 3 weeks, no way.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
I did just wanna ask if you watched
Yes.
any of the Real Housewives of Atlanta reunion.
I did not watch the reunion. I watched a lot of it, but I did kinda tap out mid-season.
I love to watch
Um,
a reunion because then I can catch up on what I missed.
I mean, I do think the girl that's suing Bravo, like, does I have a right to sue. I think what Kenya did was awful,
Yeah.
and then to find out that it wasn't even her in the photos that were shared at the event
Yeah. Yeah, and
is like
she's not at the reunion, obviously.
yeah,
So,
I think she will get something. I think
she'll
she'll get some money. I think that was pretty bad.
yeah, I agree. Now,
Mhm.
Heather, everybody knows about your number 1 in the world podcast, Juicy Scoop,
Yes.
but tell everybody where they can find your podcast, find your Instagram, find your TikTok, find when you're going on tour, all the
Yes,
things.
thank you so much. So, Juicy Scoop is every Tuesday, Thursday. Patreon, which I've been doing for over 9 years now, coming close to 1,000 episodes in there. Um, it's great, and that's every Friday, and that's kinda like where I tell the more personal stuff, and there's
Mhm.
other episodes too, like other top levels. I am gonna be Friday night at BravoCon at the MGM
I've got my
Grand.
tickets. I got my tickets.
Yes,
Yes.
and that's that Friday night at 10, so if people are going to that, get the ticket to that because you'll be with a bunch of fun people, and it'll be very Bravo-centric funny show. And it's heathermcdonald.net for everything else. I'm going to be adding dates, but right now that is my only date. I'm kind of taking like a little bit of time off because I traveled a lot last summer, which you saw me at.
I did.
In a DC.
Yes.
So anyway, thank you, girl.
Everybody go check out Heather's podcast. If you haven't, you've been under a rock. And make sure to follow me on Instagram, also Pink Shade Pod. Okay, bye.
Love you. Bye.